Hey guys, Dave Lee here once again with another Blu-ray DVD collection update / haul video. This one is for the month of December 2020. It is of course the final one for the year, and in fact this is my final video on YouTube for the year. So we're going to make this one pretty quick and pretty easy. There is a little bit of stuff to get into today though. Of course I have a nice little stack of pickups that I got from the Boxing Day sales at JB Hi-Fi and Amazon this year, as well as a small amount of titles that we've got to take a look at for the distributors that have been sent in. Brand new release titles. So at that guys, let's get into it. Alright, so let's kick this video off by taking a look at the pickups I got from the JB Hi-Fi Boxing Day sale. Of course, JB Hi-Fi do an annual Boxing Day sale, as all the big stores do. This year, in the last couple of years, actually, they've been doing 30% off Blu-rays, 4Ks, and DVDs. They're running a number of multi-buy sales at the moment as well. You can stack the 30% off on top and get extra deals. Really, really good deals. Now, this sale at JB is running until the 1st of January, I believe. So as this video goes out, if you're watching this as it goes out, you still have a couple of days to take advantage of that sale. If not, I'm sure they'll be running another one in another week or two. They always have heaps and heaps of sales at this time of year. So anyway, let's have a look at what I got. Firstly, I took advantage of the 2 for $40 4K deal. Of course, right there with the 30% off, that comes to about $28 for 2, which is like $14 each, which I think is really good for a 4K titles. I picked up this one right here, Full Metal Jacket. This is a movie that I've owned on DVD, I've owned on Blu-ray. I've never got around to watching it, and I was actually going to watch it not long ago, and then I found out the 4K was coming out, so I thought, you know, I'm just going to wait for the 4K. I'll pick it up again, and there we go. Apparently the transfer on this is really nice. So I'm looking forward to finally watching this over my break. I can't wait for that. And then I also picked up Clear and Present Danger. This is one of the Jack Ryan films with Harrison Ford from the 1990s. Really love this film. I actually really love the entire franchise, but the 2 Harrison Ford ones are my absolute favorites. I was actually informed by my good friends over at kicks.com.au that this title is now out of print in Australia. There's no more plans to do another print run of this. Whether they do another one down in the future somewhere, I don't know, maybe, but right now there's no plans to do another print run of this title. So I checked on JB and Amazon and stuff. There's a few copies still floating around at a few places. My JB Hi-Fi did have a copy, so I thought, you know, I'm going to snap this one up while I can. As far as I'm aware, the other titles in the collection are not out of print just yet, but if this one has depleted its stock, I imagine that some of the other ones are probably on their way out as well, so maybe consider picking those ones up. Kicks, my friends over at Kicks are actually sending me over the other 4 or 5 titles, whatever there are. I think there's 4 other ones. They're going to be sending them over. They probably should have been here by now, but I think they've been caught up in the post over Christmas. I was going to put them in this video, but they're going to have to go into the next one, but at least I can show this one. This is actually part of, Kicks is doing a number of bundle deals for their Kicksmas sales. You might have seen me spooking that over a number of videos over the last month. The Kicksmas sales are now over, but I believe they still have their bundle deals, and the Jack Ryan films were part of one. There's like a best of 2020 bundle, a horror bundle, war bundle, all that kind of stuff. So you head over to kicks.com.au and check out their bundles. But yes, I picked this one up, and I can't wait for the other Jack Ryan films to land in my hot little hands, and I will show them off in the next update video, which will be in January or maybe February. Another bundle deal they're doing at JB Hi-Fi at the moment is buy 2, get 1 free on a select number of kids movies or family films. Now these were all, I think they came to about $8 each. If you factor in, I mean, essentially you're buying 2 but getting 1 free, but you're really paying for each title individually, and I think individually they come to about $8 each. You'll see that there's an odd number here, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I picked up Hop. This is the only Illumination film that I don't have in my collection. Doesn't look great. I don't think it's going to be fantastic, but I kind of had to get it to fill in the gaps. If you've been watching my my videos over the last year or so, my Blu-ray videos, you know that I'm trying to fill in a bunch of gaps in my animation collection. I'm finally at the end where I'm finally picking up kind of the ones that don't look that great and trying to get them for cheap prices. I then got the 2 SpongeBob movies that are available on Blu-ray, the SpongeBob movie and SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water. This is the 3D edition. Again, these both came for like $8, which I think is really awesome. I only recently watched these because I did my SpongeBob Evolution video, and I thought it was a lot of fun, so I thought I'd add these 2 to the collection as well. We've got Sherlock Gnomes. That's another one that I don't think is going to be that great, but I do have the first one, Romeo and Juliet, so I had to get this one just to fill that little gap. Again, for only a few bucks. I was happy to do that. And finally, we picked up House with a Clock in Its Walls. This is the only non-animated title I picked up. I watched this one. I believe Entertainment One sent me like a digital version of it when it first came out on home media. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really quite fun. It's produced by Amblin Entertainment, which is Steven Spielberg's company. So he was, one of the producers on board, and it just feels like those classic Spielberg family films from the 1980s. I really enjoyed it. I thought, I really want to own a physical copy of this movie. Jack Black is great fun as always, and Cate Blanchett, of course, is really, really wonderful in this too. So I had to pick this one up. Now you will notice, as I said, it's a buy two get one free, but there's only 5 titles here instead of 6. Long story short, there was a bit of a mix-up with the order that I made. I had to return something, so I only ended up getting 5 instead of 6, but that's okay because monetarily I didn't lose anything. I still got the 2 for the price that I should have got them for in the multi-buy deal without then having to pay for that extra one. Again, there's a couple of mix-ups with the order. Very long story. I'm sure I'll talk about it in a podcast. It's a bit of a funny story. I'll talk about it in my podcast in the new year probably. All right, so we'll just take a look at these ones right here. These are just a bunch of catalog titles I've had on my list for a while and been meaning to pick up, and I've finally, had the opportunity to pick up a bunch of these catalog titles this year, which has been absolutely awesome. Firstly, we've got The Simpsons movie. How I never picked this one up on Blu-ray is beyond me. I'm actually not too sure. I do have it on DVD, but I, for some reason, never upgraded that one to Blu-ray. This one only cost me $6 with a 30% off, so I thought, that's a no-brainer, particularly as it is, again, a Fox title, and now with Disney owning all the Fox titles now, and a lot of these Fox discs going out of print, it's probably one of our last chances to own The Simpsons movie on physical home media, on Blu-ray or DVD, so I picked that one up while I still could. Picked up a couple of fantasy films right here, which I've never seen. These two were both about $6, I think, with the deal as well. Firstly, Dragonheart. This is a fantasy epic movie from the 1990s. I think there's like a whole series of these. The other ones are like straight-to-home media sequels, but this one's got Dennis Quaid and Sean Connery and David Thewlis in it. Apparently, it's quite good. It's one of those cult movies that a lot of people really love. I'm not too sure how much I love it, but I do want to check that one out. And of course, this one right here, upside down, Legend, starring Tom Cruise, Mia Sara, and Tim Curry as the Devil. This looks like an absolute trip, like one of those great family fantasy films from the mid-1980s. It's one of Tom Cruise's earliest films, if not like his earliest film, and I haven't seen it, so I'm dying to get into this. And as I said, it's a Ridley Scott movie as well, so it's got a whole bunch of stuff lined up for it. And even if it's not that great, at $6, it's worth picking up and checking out. And we've got 2 here from Shock Entertainment. These 2 came to $4 each. They were like marked down to $6 and then down to $4 with the 30% off on top of that, which is pretty cool. Vertical Limit is one I've never watched. I believe I have it on DVD, but I never got around to it. It's got Bill Paxton, Chris O'Donnell, Scott Glenn. Apparently it's not fantastic, but it's a movie that should look good in Blu-ray. And look, for $4, I was happy to upgrade this one, and I will finally check it out very, very soon. This one as well, Clockers. Don't really know anything about this. It's got Harvey Keitel, John Turturro, and Delroy Lindo in it. This is a Spike Lee film, which is kind of weird. I don't really know anything about it. I guess it's one of those under-the-radar films that he did, but it's got really great reviews. It's got 2 thumbs up on the back there, and it's got like a 7-something on IMDb, so I thought, you know what? For $4, I'm going to check that one out. I do love a good Spike Lee joint, as they're called. And 3 titles right here from Umbrella Entertainment. These were all 15 markdown. There's a huge Umbrella movie markdown at the moment. All the Blu-rays are like $15, which is like essentially half price, maybe like 60% off the regular retail. And then with the 30% off, they come down to about $11. So I picked up this one, Cry Freedom, with Denzel Washington and Kevin Kline. Really don't know much about this either, but it looks really, really fantastic. Really good drama film. It's directed by Richard Attenborough, who's directed some really fantastic movies over the years, so I'm looking forward to that. The Shadow, starring Alec Baldwin, Peter Boyle, Ian McKellen, Tim Curry, like a really great cast there. This is like I guess around the time that they did The Phantom and Dick Tracy, they were doing a lot of these movies based on like early 40s pulp adventure comics and stuff. This was like the small superhero boom at the end of the 1980s and the 1990s, where they're starting to experiment with what kind of superhero movies and stuff they could do. And this one right here, The Shadow, is one I'd never heard of, and I saw it sitting there and I thought, you know what, this looks bloody awesome. Like, how cool is that? Just the graphics and everything. And I checked it out and I had some good reviews. It's one of those cult movies. I really enjoyed it. I watched this one and really, really loved it. Again, if you've seen stuff like Dick Tracy and The Phantom, you know what you're getting into with a movie like this. It's not fantastic, it's cheesy, corny, sappy, all that kind of stuff, but it's a lot of fun and visually really gorgeous movie. So I would recommend picking this one up, especially if you can get it for like $11 right now. Really good film. And finally, we've got an all-action double feature from Umbrella Entertainment, which has got The Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis. Two fantastic movies. I do already own The Last Action Hero on Blu-ray. They released like an individual version of it at the beginning of the life cycle of Blu-ray. That was released by Universal or Columbia or whoever has the rights to that one. And Hudson Hawk has never been released on Blu-ray in Australia individually. This is the only way you can get it on the local market. There is a version available in the UK, maybe the US as well, but it's expensive to import. And I figured for the sake of $10, I'll just get this double feature. I get the movie I want, and I get a second copy of Last Action Hero, you know, for nothing. I would have spent like $20, $30 to import this one for overseas, so I was just happy to buy that in the double feature. But both really, really great, fun action-adventure films. I've got one other title here. This is not part of the Boxing Day sales or anything, but it is an Australian release, catalogue title, so I thought I'd throw it in here. This is one I picked up on eBay. This is an out-of-print title. It's been out of print for a number of years. It's one that I've been wanting to get my hands on for ages. I finally found it on eBay for a really good price. I think I paid like $14 for this, which is okay. It's an epic film, an epic Hollywood film from the 1950s. It goes for 174 minutes. You know, at that kind of time, they were doing Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments and all those movies like that. This is one of those big kind of epic movies. I haven't checked it out. It's got Robert Taylor, Deborah Kerr, Leo Genn, and Peter Ustinov in there. So it's one of those ones that I guess isn't really an all-time classic, but it is one that is fairly well known and a lot of people love. And I do want to check this out because I love all these like epic action-adventure films from this period, especially ones like set in Rome and all that. Always a lot of fun. So I finally got Quo Vadis in the collection and I will check that one out over this holidays. Alright, so we got a little stack of titles here that are actually Black Friday deals that have come from Amazon. They've only just arrived from the US, so they're finally in this video instead of in the last one, but we'll take a look at these. I've been an Amazon Prime member over the last month to take advantage of some of these deals, so I placed a number of orders. We'll take a look at what I got very, very quickly. Firstly, I picked up this double pack of the Miss Congeniality films, 1 and 2. Just great classic comedies. I've been on a roll recently of trying to pick up some comedy movies that aren't in my collection. This goes alongside like Legally Blonde and the Charlie's Angels films I picked up recently as well. Neither of these released in Australia, so I had to import them finally, and I'm finally getting in my collection. Miss Congeniality, the first one's just an absolute classic action comedy film from like, you know, the early 2000s. I seen it years and years ago, didn't remember anything about it, so it was really nice to revisit that one. I only just watched the second one this morning actually. Not very good, not great. It's one of those like mid-2000s sequels that probably didn't need to exist, and it's just a shell of the first film, but I'm happy to own them both. I think I paid like $20 for that, probably a bit more than I probably should have, but it was trending about $30. It went down to $20. I thought, I'm finally gonna buy it. It breaks down to $10 a film, so I was happy to pay that. And this one I was very happy to get, Zoolander on Blu-ray, one of my favorite comedy movies of all time. Of course, Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Will Ferrell, a whole cast of really great actors in there. This is, as I said, one of my favorite movies. I only own it on DVD because it's never come out on Blu-ray in Australia before. It's been a hard one to get my hands on Blu-ray. I think it came out in the States maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like a Best Buy exclusive, so I couldn't get my hands on it, and then it went out of print for ages, and then it came on the market like general sale, and it went out of print really quickly because everyone wanted to get their hands on it. Came out in the UK and it was too expensive to import, and then finally I found it for $11 just randomly on Amazon Global Store. So I was like, that's it, my chance to finally pick it up. I think it's been reissued again because it's got the blue cover. The original issues had the green cover. But yeah, I'm so happy to get Zoolander in the collection. I'll be watching this one again soon. It's been so long since I've watched that one. And we picked up a bunch of animated titles as well. We'll go through these very quickly too. We got the Flintstones collection, finally, the complete series has just been released from Warner Brothers. This has got all 6 seasons. Also has a couple of movies in there too, which is the Flintstones, The Man Called Flintstone, and that WWE SmackDown movie movie they did. So it's all 6 seasons right there. I think I paid maybe $70 for that. It was trending about $100, and then they had like a Black Friday sale. I brought it down to 70. Again, it's probably something I probably would have wanted to pay maybe $50, $60 for, but I thought $70 is fine. I'm going to grab that right now. So it's one of those, just something that I can just tick off my list. Very happy to get this. Who knows if it'll ever go down to $50. If it does, it's going to be a couple of years' time. So I'm happy to finally have that one there. There's another couple of Hanna-Barbera titles that have finally been released on Blu-ray. These ones are from Warner Archive Collection. These ones cost $30 each for 1 season, whereas the Flintstones was $70 for 6 seasons, but that's the difference in pricing between Warner Brothers proper and Warner Archive. So I was happy to pay the maybe $33, $34 for these. Space Ghost and Dino Boy and Josie and the Pussycats. These are two that I never really watched growing up. I don't think they were ever... I remember seeing Josie and the Pussycats on a lot, but I don't think I ever really watched it. So I'm excited to really dive into these and kind of check them out. I'm still waiting for them to bring out classics like Top Cat and Yogi Bear and all those ones. But I'm slowly picking away at the Hanna-Barbera releases. You know, I've got Johnny Quest and the Jetsons as well, and the Tom and Jerry ones. Sort of on the Hanna-Barbera front, we picked up Scoob as well. This is the 4K edition, was only released on Blu-ray and DVD here in Australia. The Blu-ray is like $15 at the moment, and the 4K on Amazon, again, as part of a Black Friday sale, was $20 or $19 or something. So I thought, you know, I'm going to pick that one up in 4K. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard mixed things. I think I'll probably enjoy it. Just a fun animated film, get my mind off things for a while. But yeah, so I've finally got Scoob in the collection. I can finally check that one out. This one's sort of animated, but sort of not. It is the Popeye film starring Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall that came out in 1980. This is like a really, really bad movie, really corny, really cheesy. Robin Williams' first film, actually, but it is a lot of fun. And as a huge Robin Williams fan, I had to get this one for the collection because I love the guy, I love his films, and yeah, it's just one I had to get. It was like $15. It's a brand new release. Paramount have been absolutely killing it with catalog releases this year. Trying to get the focus, not focusing. But yeah, they have been absolutely killing it with catalog titles this year, and that was one that has just come out. All right, so that's all of the catalog kind of sale titles that I picked up recently. Now let's take a look at the stack of titles that have been sent in from my good friends over at the distributors. Firstly, we'll start with Madman Entertainment, who sent over Bill and Ted Face the Music. This is the third Bill and Ted movie. The first two films are movies that I watched endlessly as a kid. I love these movies. Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, just the performances in these movies are just so good. They're so, so funny. And I've just done the third movie. This released this year, actually. It's a 2020 film. It's one of those ones that ended up getting delegated to streaming services in certain places because of the pandemic and everything. I think it did have a theatrical run here in Australia, though, which is why we got the Blu-ray fairly early. This is coming out overseas, I think, on 4K, but I don't feel like it's a movie that really needs to be watched in 4K. So, yeah, the Blu-ray, I think, is the way to go, especially if you're here in Australia. Just pick up the local edition. I think it's great. It looks really great. The picture's really nice. The movie itself, I was kind of in two minds about it. I was going in not expecting anything fantastic, going in expecting just like a really cheesy, silly movie. Can't take it too seriously. The original two movies didn't take themselves seriously at all. And this one is, again, a bit of a spoof on those earlier movies, so it's even more silly. But I found that maybe it was a little too silly. I didn't find it hilarious. It's certainly not as funny as the original two movies. But it is an enjoyable watch, particularly if you like the first two movies, you're a fan of those two. You have to check this one out. It's fun to revisit this world. It's fun to get another adventure with these characters. And I think a lot of it is actually really good. They go around, you know, throughout history and picking all these famous faces from around various points in history and form a band. Essentially what they did in the original films. So it kind of rehashes that idea, but it is a lot of fun. And look, yeah, if you're a fan of those movies, I would recommend picking this one up. But if you don't really know much about it, don't expect too much going into it. You might think it's a little bit weird, but it is worth picking up. And this is a really nice release here from Madman Entertainment. All right, so next up, we'll take a look at the film sent over by Umbrella Entertainment. This one right here, this is the only Blu-ray I've got from him this month. It's called Honey Boy. This one stars Shia LaBeouf. It's also written by him. It's kind of a semi-autobiographical take on his life. It sums it up perfectly on the back here. It charts here a fictionalized version of his stormy childhood and early adult years as he struggles to reconcile with his father through cinema and dreams, fictionalizing his childhood's ascent to stardom and subsequent adult crash landing into rehab and recovery. He plays his own father in this film, and you could just tell it's a very cathartic movie for him to make. A lot of stuff that he needed to get off his chest. Again, it wasn't a great childhood. His father was not, by all accounts, not a really great person and a very, very over-the-top character. And Noah Jupe plays the fictionalized version of Shia LaBeouf in this right here. A really great movie. Just fantastic movie. The performances are fantastic all around. It's really heavy though. It's a really heavy drama. So I think it's one of those movies you have to be in the mood to check out. But it definitely is. It definitely is one that you do got to check out if you like stuff like this. The transfer and everything on this is beautiful. Looks really nice. Really top class Blu-ray. As is expected from Umbrella, they pump out some really great stuff. There's no bonus features or anything on here. There's not even a menu. It simply goes straight to the movie and then plays the movie on repeat. But yeah, the movie is worth the price of admission alone because it really is a really great film. Also got a number of classic DVD titles that were sent in from Umbrella. Firstly, we'll start with The Fuller Brush Girl. This is one starring Lucille Ball, of course, from I Love Lucy. If you know I Love Lucy, you're a fan of the show, or you've seen her or anything, you know what this is like. You know what Lucille Ball's style is like. Very over the top, very slapstick, but very, very funny. She's a really fantastic comedian. I love her stuff. I love her show and all that. So it was really cool to check this one out. It's like a screwball romantic comedy / murder mystery kind of thing. They're trying to save up money to buy their dream house, but they don't have enough, so they end up deciding to sell cosmetics door to door. And while they're at it, they kind of uncover this big murder plot kind of thing and then get entangled in it. She becomes the #1 suspect. A typical kind of screwball romantic comedy murder mystery thing from this era, but it's a whole lot of fun. Again, if you know what Lucille Ball's stuff's like, you'll know what this is like. It's definitely worth having a look at if you're a fan of that. And these two music biopics sent in right here, they made a lot of these in the mid-40s, early 1950s. This one right here is the Eddie Duchin story. It was made in 1956. It stars Tyrone Power as Eddie Duchin. It's also got Kim Novak in there as well. Really fantastic performers. Of course, Eddie Duchin was like a big band leader in the early 1920s, if you think of like big band jazz, all that kind of stuff. He did a lot of great riffs on classical music, really just fantastic stuff. And this is a great biopic on his kind of rise to prominence on the New York music scene in that era. And really, really great. This is just a really great Technicolor film and really beautiful. If you like this kind of thing, powerhouse performances, all that from the classic era of Hollywood, definitely check that one out. Likewise, A Song to Remember. It's another really great Technicolor extravaganza. This one stars Paul Muni as Frédéric Chopin. It is kind of just like a biopic on Chopin, again, his rise to prominence and, all that kind of stuff. It's got like affairs, it's got rivalries, it's got all that kind of drama that you want packed into one of these movies. Of course, very over the top, very dramatized, very melodramatic, but it is really, really, really good. And Paul Muni delivers a fantastic performance here as Chopin. So I would recommend both of those if you're interested in those kind of movies. You can pick those ones up right now from Umbrella Entertainment. And now we'll close this one off with a bunch of titles that have been sent in from my good friends over at Viavision Home Entertainment. We've got 3 titles here, actually. Firstly, it's the Bob Hope Collection Volume 2. This has 11 classic movies and a feature-length documentary which charts his life and career. The films are from between 1947 to 1972, so a bunch of films from the later half of his career, which in my personal opinion is the best part of his career. Of course, early in the year they released the Bob Hope Collection Volume 1, which had films from 38 to 46. This one is just like in a big digital Digipack Amaray case thing there, whereas this one has a nice slip box and it's in 2 individual Amaray cases because it has 12 discs as opposed to the 10 of the first. This is obviously the only way they could do it, but I think this is a nicer packaging. I really like the individual art there, no big ratings, logos, all that, so they look really beautiful. I really would have liked the first one to get this same treatment too, but it's just one of those things. So anyway, this has some really great films in there. It's actually got some of his absolute classics in there. The Paleface, which is a film he did with Jane Russell, really great movie. That was actually nominated for an Academy Award for the song that was in it. The Lemon Drop Kid, both of those are really great Western spoof films, slapstick kind of comedy, what you would expect from a Bob Hope film, just really over the top, slapstick comedy, but very clever comedy as well. So Lemon Drop Kid and The Paleface are two really great kind of Western spoofs. And then, of course, The Road to Rio is on there as well, which is one of the Road to films that he did with the great Bing Crosby. That series of films is like the absolute best things that Bob Hope and Bing Crosby ever did. So a lot of fun as well. So definitely, if you love this classic comedy kind of stuff, you love Bob Hope, you got to pick this one up, especially if you got that first set too. So right there, out from Viavision right now is Volume 2 of the Bob Hope collection. Another great collection is the Randolph Scott collection. This has got 8 of Randolph Scott's Western films. Randolph Scott was a really, really fantastic actor. He did a wide range of movies, drama films, war films, epic films, all that kind of stuff. But he's most well known for his Western films. I think something like 60% of the movies he did in his career were Westerns, so his name really is synonymous with the Western genre. He is one that I feel like these days is maybe a little bit more under the radar. You think of the Western films, you think of John Wayne, Glenn Ford, James Stewart to an extent, and Randolph Scott kind of gets buried a little bit under all those titans. But this guy right here, again, he is one of the titans, and I feel like he does deserve a bit more appreciation, a bit more of the spotlight than he does these days. So this is a really great place to start, and it's really great that Viavision have cobbled together a bunch of his movies. You've got some really early Westerns in here, like The Texans, When the Daltons Rode, Corvette K225, Gunfighters, Coroner Creek, The Doolins of Oklahoma, Walking Hills, and Santa Fe. These are all black and white films, except for I think Santa Fe is in color. They all look really nice. All of these DVDs, as I should say, they all actually look really, really nice. Sometimes these older movies don't pull up that great on DVD, but all of these ones that I've shown today look really, really fantastic on the DVD format. And a lot of these are probably ones that you won't see issued on Blu-ray at any point. So, so I would, if you want to check these ones out, definitely get this set right here. And last but not least, it's another Robin Williams, another very early Robin Williams title. It is Mork and Mindy, the complete series. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. This is a show that rocketed Robin Williams to absolute superstardom. This is a character that he played in like a cameo role on Happy Days, and the episode was so beloved, it was watched by so many people that they decided to give Mork his own spin-off show. He's an alien that comes from outer space, obviously, and he comes and lands on Earth and tries to fit in on Earth with his roommate Mindy. Fantastic show. It went for 4 seasons. You could at one point get seasons 1 to 3 individually here in Australia, but season 4 you could only get in the box set. This box set has been issued previously, so this is the second issue of the box set, and it's great to finally get it back out there on the market, and really good to finally be able to get all 4 seasons again, which is good. First season is amazing. I mean, you know what Robin Williams is like, particularly his early comedy is just so zany, off the wall, uncontrollable, and they really gave him free rein to really do whatever the hell he wanted, and it's all just a lot of ad-lib. You can see the people that he's working off are trying not to laugh, and you just tell it's just a crazy, crazy eclectic environment. By the second season, they actually asked him to tone it down a bit, and they wanted to aim it towards a more kind of family-friendly audience, because if you know Robin Williams' stand-up stuff, it can be a little bit crude at times. So he was really pushing boundaries with that first season. Second one, they were like, you got to tone it down a bit. We're going to aim this to a kid's audience. And it kind of really wasn't as good. It was still good, but it wasn't as good. And as the show continued to go on, they watered it down even further until the point where they really had a real reign over the kind of stuff that he could do on the show, and less improv, and it wasn't as over the top. So as the show goes on, it does get a little bit worse, but it is still enjoyable. You got to check them all out. It's such a fun classic series. You know I love my classic series, and I'm so happy to have them all on DVD right here. Alright, and that closes out this video, and of course it closes out this series and this channel actually for the year 2020. I will return with more Blu-ray DVD collection updates in the year 2021, but probably not until February, because I know all the distributors are off on holidays until kind of mid-January, which means by the time they actually get to send the stuff out to me, it'll be the end of the month. And by the time I get to watch them all and stuff, it'll be February. So I'll do that video in February. It might be like a mix-up of the January and February titles. We'll see how we go. But we definitely will do that. Thanks to all the distributors who have sent out stuff to me over this year. I look forward to continuing my relationships with you guys into the new year. I'm looking forward to some really great new titles coming out over 2021. And thanks everybody out there for watching this series. It's been real fun to get back into these ones after I kind of stopped doing them for a year or two. But I really do enjoy doing these. And thanks so much for watching. Again, And as we go into the new year, everyone continue to stay safe out there, and all the best for a very, very happy 2021. I'll see you in the new year. Take it easy, guys. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.